Hey, folks, good morning and welcome to another episode of Steelers Morning Rush. I'm Alan Saunders. It is Monday, September 29th. Victory Monday as the Pittsburgh Steelers were 24-21 winners over the Minnesota Vikings in Dublin, Ireland on Sunday. The Steelers come home and enter their bye week 3-1. They are currently alone in first place in the AFC North, although the Cincinnati Bengals can change that with a win on Monday Night Football. They're 2-1, but the Steelers are 2 games ahead of the Baltimore Ravens, who are struggling at 1-3. Who also got Lamar Jackson injured. Joe Burrow's, of course, out. Things are looking great for the Pittsburgh Steelers in terms of their most direct competition in the rest of the AFC. But I get the sense from the Steelers fan base that they are still wanting some more from their black and gold compared to what they've shown over the first month of the season. And I think there's some good reason for that. But let's go back to yesterday in Ireland and this quote from Mike Tomlin post-game, which to me is a really good quote, really insightful, and also dead wrong, but we'll get there. Tomlin said, "We're 3-1, and that's all that matters. Would I like to be 4-0? Certainly, but we are what we are. I've learned not to kid myself. You are what your record says you are. So that's what we are going into the bye, and I can take it." He's right about that. I will certainly take 3-1 going into the bye. That's what I predicted the Steelers would be at this point in the year, on their way to an 11-7 season, and I think everyone. 11-6 season. I think everyone would take that as well. So 3-1 is very good for the Pittsburgh Steelers to be where they are right now. Are you at 4 weeks into the season what your record says you are? Yeah, see, I don't know about that. I don't think 3 wins over the Vikings, Patriots, and Jets tells me that the Steelers are going to keep winning 3 out of every 4 as they go on throughout the season. This has not been a very difficult stretch for the Steelers in the early going. There's a chance that none of the teams they're going to play are going to make have played so far are going to make the playoffs. The Patriots probably the most likely, or maybe the Vikings if they get JJ McCarthy back. I don't know. McCarthy wasn't looking great before he got hurt. I don't think I should expect them to win 3 out of every 4 games the rest of the way. That would make them a 4, maybe 5 loss team. That feels a bit heady. Similarly, I don't think the Baltimore Ravens are going to lose 3 out of every 4. It just so happens that the Ravens have had the misfortune of, in the first 4 weeks of the season, playing the Kansas City Chiefs, who they lost to on Sunday, the Detroit Lions, and the Buffalo Bills, with 2 of those 3 coming on the road. And probably the 2 hardest places to play, 2 or 3 hardest places to play in the league. I don't think the Ravens are going to go 1-3 every week or every 4 weeks, just like I don't think the Steelers are going to go 3-1. I think the Ravens are probably going to beat the Steelers when they play, at least once, maybe twice. So, yeah, you are in some sense what your record is, but not really. So, are people right to want more from the Steelers through 4 weeks of the season, and do they have more to give? Because look, I think they're going to have to be better than they were in these 4 weeks to continue to win 3 out of every 4 going forward as the schedule gets more difficult. You've got a quick turnaround road trip to Cincinnati coming up. You've got the Green Bay Packers coming up. Those are going to be more difficult games than anything the Steelers have played so far. You look farther down the road, you've got those Bills, you've got those Lions, you've got 2 games against those Ravens. That's way more difficult than anything they've done so far. So let's look at where the Steelers are statistically through 4 weeks. They are tied for 16th in team offense with 96 points. And you know what? That feels very good. Like, that's about where the Steelers belong as an offense with their talent level, especially considering, young offensive line. I think it's reasonable to expect the offensive line will play better as the year goes on. I don't think that's a bad place for them to be, but they are 26th in yards. Now, on defense, I say a lot. Yards don't matter. Get the ball, only the points. On offense, I do feel like an offense that has a lot of points, but not too many yards. Well, one of 2 things is happening. Either one, they're takeaway merchants, and they have been. The Steelers lead the NFL in takeaway margin at +7 right now. Or they're every drive that's not a touchdown is a 3 and out, which has kind of also been true. But they've been really good in the red zone, and they have. They're the number 2 red zone offense in the NFL. And so, is that sustainable? I don't see any reason it can't be. I don't look at what the Steelers have done with turnovers as unsustainable. That is how they built their entire defense. And I don't look at the Steelers' red zone success as unsustainable when you look at the red zone weapons they have. They have Aaron Rodgers and they have giant Darnell Washington, and they have a very creative offensive coordinator in Arthur Smith who dials up random weird plays out of heavy packages. And I don't see any reason why they can't continue to be successful in the red zone, given how much they work at it and the personnel they have. And especially if the offensive line starts playing better, they could get even better. So I think on offense, everything that we've seen so far feels very sustainable and can continue. The issues lie with the Steelers defense, which I thought played okay in week 4. Probably its best game. Definitely got after the quarterback the best. Although Carson Wentz is not Joe Burrow. The Steelers defense in points is currently 24th in the NFL. They are the highest paid defense. They have been injured, but that is just brutally bad. Not at all where they should be, and not at all where this team needs to be if it's going to win 3 out of every 4 games going forward. Even worse, by yardage, they're 29th. Now, again, I know they don't care that much about the yards. They want to force turnovers, but 29th is really bad. I mean, you should be able to be better than that with a defense as talented as the Steelers have, even if your focus is on getting the ball. And like I said, they are number 1. I think they're number 1 in turnover margin, number 2 in turnovers. So they're getting the ball. But they need to find a way to be tighter on defense. And what happened in the fourth quarter of this game, even with injuries, indicative that not everything is right with the Steelers defense. This should have been a game they should have been able to put away. And then you have Mike Tomlin inserting an extreme amount of randomness into late game situations with his just, I don't know what, lack of aggression, whatever you want to call it. Wouldn't go for it on 4th and a half. Need to be convinced to go for it on 4th and 3 in areas where 90% of NFL coaches would have gone for both of those without hesitation. I don't understand it. It's not good. It's not helpful. It's also not a big deal. Tomlin's great in other areas that more than makes up for it, but it's certainly not helpful to the team's stat line when you have to keep defending in a game like that when really it should have been over. So what do I make of all of this? I think the Pittsburgh Steelers can and should be better on defense. They need to be better on defense. But if they can just be as good as they've been on offense and that happens, then I think 3-1 can be sustainable. If they don't improve on defense, I don't see how they can keep beating teams at this rate when the competition ramps up and when the season starts to get more difficult. All right, that's all I got for this morning. We've got an afternoon drive with me and Smitty at 6. We've got afternoon. So that'll be coming out. And then immediately as that's coming out, we'll be live with our Steelers Now Plus, SM Plus subscribers only live stream. Me, Smitty, DB, 6 p.m. So tune into that first. You can watch Afternoon Drive later. If you're a SM Plus subscriber, if you're not, get over to SteelersNow.com, click the membership tab in the top right, sign up. It's like less than $5 a month. And it really helps us do a lot of cool and fun things and bring better content to you guys. And then like, subscribe, and hit that bell for notifications here on the YouTube channel. We will see you next time right here on that live stream or on Afternoon Drive with Smitty. Until then, thanks for listening, thanks for watching, and enjoy.